Welcome to another episode of Exposed. Exposed is a youth talk show on Mohawk TV. The purpose of the show is to expose the issues that matter to Kahnawake youth and to provoke thought and discussion on those issues. I'm one of your panelists, Curran Jacobs.
I'm Hogan Gilbert.
And I'm Jessica Deere. So this week we're focusing on the importance of arts, and later in the show we'll be interviewing Kevin John Saylor from the Turtle Island Theatre Company. But right now we're going to focus on music. So recently, Hogan, your music has been playing on K103. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, I started seriously getting into music just in about December or January. I've been playing music since I was 7, but I never really took it seriously. I was like in a couple metal bands, but recently I started listening to a band called Mumford and Sons, and it just blew me away, and I started making like folk rock music just because I don't have I have an electric guitar, but it's not in my house, and it's hard to get a hold of the guy who has it. So I just started making music on my acoustic guitar one day. And then things happened, and then all of a sudden I had 8 or 9 songs just sitting in my lap, and I was like, I could do something with this, because I didn't have a job. I didn't really have anything to do to make the days pass by, so I just decided to make music one day, and people like it sometimes.
So what are some of your songs about?
Just breaking up, you know. It sucks. Everyone's been through it. But I mean, it's serious. I mean, everyone could relate to it. It's just heartbreak.
So I guess we'll have a listen to one of your songs right now.
All right.
And I've got no hope inside this heart from the days we were apart. But I know you told me from the start our love's a work of art. So here I try to leave town tonight. She cast me aside, but I still hold her in the moonlight. These winter winds keep me trapped and cold. I need to get out of here, at least that's what I'm told. These roads wind round, can't call them home.
That was called The Work of Art, and I think that's one of the best ones that I wrote, just because it took so long to write. All the other ones, they just kind of poured out.
So what's that one about?
I was sleeping, and I woke up, and it just came to me like that. It's weird writing music, being creative and stuff. It just happens. You don't really think about it. It just happens.
Or are you the kind of person who writes lyrics first and then you add it to guitar, or like how does that work for you in terms of matching your lyrics with your music?
It's different, like, every time.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes I'll write out some lyrics, be like, okay, I gotta make something that matches to this. But most of the time, I'm just playing around, and then I say something, I was like, that's cool. So I just keep going along with that until I get to like 3 or 4 minutes.
So how did you get your song played on K103?
I saw Java made a post on Facebook, and he said something about there's a lot of musicians in Kahnawake, and he wanted to, you know, mainstream all the local talent that we got. And he said, if you got a good recording, make it clean and nice, send it in. So I sent it in, and he played it, and it was I got good feedback. I liked it.
Well, did you hear it on the radio when they played it?
I heard it this morning,
Yeah.
Tuesday. Tuesday morning.
How does that feel to hear yourself on the radio like that?
Well, I was sleeping, then my mom kind of just banged on my door, like, your song's gonna be on soon! I just kind of rolled over and turned it on. I don't know, it's a weird feeling. The first time I got like butterflies, but now it's, once you get used to it, like anything else, it just becomes natural. When I was in like metal bands, I would just, I didn't have to do anything on stage, I just had to play my guitar, but now I have to like be an entertainer now, and it's fun. And the first time I did it, I sucked. The second time I did it, I sucked even more. But
Well, when did you start playing? Like, you're a guitarist and a vocalist, obviously.
yeah,
So when did you start doing that stuff?
I've maybe like 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah.
I started, but I didn't get serious until like 3 or 4 months ago. And yeah,
So why did you want to do it though? Like, what started your interest in the music?
my grandfather bought me a guitar when I was 7, a little tiny Montana acoustic guitar, and I just threw it and didn't care about it until one day I just picked it up because I was bored, and they bought me books and videos of how to play guitar and stuff, but I'd never bothered to watch it. So I just one day taught myself how to play. He taught me how to play Jingle Bells, and then I took it from there.
Well, everyone has to start somewhere.
Exactly.
Because I took guitar lessons too, and you start with that stuff.
Yeah.
But is that something that do you have an emphasis on the importance of like actually learning how to read music, or?
Yeah, I've been trying to learn how to read music for like years now. When I was in Dawson like 2 or 3 years ago, I took a course for a whole year trying to learn how to read music. I can't. It's like when you learn something, that's how you know how to do it, and then someone's trying to tell you like that's not the right way to do it. Relearn it, and then you get smacked in the back of the head. You know, it's hard. It's really hard to read music for me because I already learned a different way.
Yeah, I played music, well, flute.
Yeah, we were flute players in high school.
But I played for like pretty much all 5 years of like high school, and we had a jazz band and like a concert band, but like obviously like I never had that in going to school here, and then all of a sudden like, well, we had music classes, and then we like started a band and like stuff like that, and I don't know, it was just like so hard to read music, and then like after a while it gets like just second nature.
Well, it's like you were saying, right? You need to start, like if you're gonna learn how to read music and start playing that way, you have to stick with it, because like if you're reading tabs, it's different. It's so different than actually reading music. So
yeah, it's just there's different ways of learning how to do things, but I mean, if you're gonna do it, you should do it the right way and learn how to read music. Because for the longest time, I wanted to go to school for music. I knew how to play. Did you ever see Drumline? He doesn't know how to read music, but he still plays well. That's me.
You're Nick Cannon.
Yeah.
You're married to Mariah Carey.
Oh.
No, but that's the downside too, is that there's a lot of great musicians, especially in town, but that they don't have that musical background to be able to pursue it on a, to go to school for it, or in that avenue at least, because there's a lot of bands who can't read music who've made it.
Yeah.
I mean, punk rock was based around that, right? So
Yeah. I think there should be more emphasis on music in town, because I was always jealous of all the kids that had like you guys had band whatever, the music class, right? I didn't have a band class, but I mean it would be nice in town.
Even if it wasn't for like a school like a survival school, or even, well, I know in Step by Step that's something that they've been trying to introduce, and they've had their music program, and it's like successful, and they're trying to like expand it, but outside of like a school institution, like just how, well, later we'll be talking to the theater, and there's like an institution for theater and like that type of stuff, but it would be great if there was something, I guess, just musical.
So on that note, we'll be back right after this commercial break.